Hello everyone, welcome to back my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. The bold and the beautiful recap is finally in for Thursday, August 7, 2025. In today's episode, Lee Finnegan, Naomi Matsuda, has a risky encounter with Sheila Carter Sharp, Kimberlyn Brown. Meanwhile, John Finn Finnegan, Tanner Novlan, forces Grace Buckingham, Cassandra Creech, to tell Liam Spencer, Scott Clifton, the truth. Grace tries to convince Finn to keep her secret. The devious doctor tries to explain desperately, "Please, keep this our secret." Grace says that Reese Buckingham, Wayne Brady, has people he owes money to. Those people are coming after her: Zoe Buckingham, Kiara Barnes, and Paris Buckingham, Diamond White. What if they want more money? Finn asks. Grace promises she won't do something like this again. She can't lose her medical license. This is her life. She continues begging Finn to keep quiet. Grace asks if he's going to tell anyone. The doctor says no. Then adds that Grace is going to tell Liam the truth herself. Meanwhile, Liam Spencer, Scott Clifton, sits by while Hope Logan, Annika Noel, talks to Brooke Logan, Catherine Kelly Lang, on the phone. She rambles about Brooke's accident to Liam after the phone call. The patient talks about Bill Spencer, Don Diamond, doting on him. Liam mentions the $1 million. Hope gushes about Liam being a good man and good father. At Il Giardino, Deacon Sharp, Scene Cannon, asks for Sheila's help, but she is lost in thought. Sheila is thinking about Lai. She reached out to her again. Deacon reminds her Luna Nozawa, Lisa Yamada, is dead. She needs to say goodbye. Deacon says it's a good thing that Luna is gone. Sheila gets upset. The restaurant owner suggests she forget all about Luna. Sheila is upset and doesn't expect him to understand. Deacon just doesn't want her to be in any more pain. They hold hands and then Sheila walks away. "Where are you going?" Sheila says to find Finn. The waitress adds that Steffi Forrester Finnegan, Jacqueline Missins Wood, is out of town and they might be able to actually get along. Sheila goes to Lai's office and sees she's not there. She starts to text until April. Jameson Belushi says the doctor is on leave. They talk about nursing stuff. April adores Eli and is really sorry about Luna. Sheila asks if April can tell her where Luna's remains were sent. She's Luna's other grandmother and Finn's birth mother. April agrees to look into it because she's Finn's mom and Luna's grandma. However, April notices on the computer there are no records of Luna's death. She suggests that Lai be contacted directly. April rushes out of the office. Lai talks to an unconscious Luna. The doctor looks at all the equipment around the room. Luna needs more medicine. Lai needs to make a run to the hospital for medications. At the hospital, Lai wanders into her office, bumping into Sheila. Lai drops a big bag of medicines and supplies. Sheila says she's been trying to reach out to her, but Lee frantically puts the drugs back in her bag. "Where is my granddaughter?" Back at the secret medical suite, Luna lies motionless. Meanwhile, Finn and Grace enter Bill's house. Hope and Liam gush about Grace being a saint. Grace says they can do this another time. Liam insists she stay. Finn says Grace is there to tell Liam the truth about his brain tumor. Thursday's episode didn't just simmer. It boiled over with tension, confessions, and subtle power plays. From Lai risking more than just her career to Grace flipping the emotional table, and Liam offering gratitude that was far deeper than a polite thanks. The episode carved out some pivotal beats for the rest of August's storylines. Act 1. Lai's risky encounter. The show opened with Lee Finnegan in a dimly lit hospital corridor, pacing like a woman who knew she shouldn't be there but couldn't walk away. The camera lingered on her clenched jaw, that signature Finnegan steel glinting in her eyes. She was supposed to be off duty, and more importantly, she was supposed to stay far away from anything involving Sheila Carter. But the words from earlier in the week kept replaying in her head. "You can't just bury the truth, Lai." And so, she had come. In a secluded recovery room, Sheila lay in bed, her expression shifting between fox innocence and calculated anticipation. Lai stepped inside, shutting the door softly but firmly behind her. "Why are you here, Lily?" Sheila's tone was half teasing, half taunting. "To check my vitals? Or my soul?" Lai didn't bite on the sarcasm. "I need answers," she said. "Not the kind you give everyone else. The truth." Sheila tilted her head, smirking as if this were a game. But when Lai moved closer, lowering her voice, the weight of the moment landed. "If you hurt Finn again, or anyone I care about, there won't be a hospital bed in this state that can save you." It was a risky move. Lai knew Sheila thrived on these encounters, twisting them into something she could manipulate later. Still, Lai wanted Sheila to see the warning in her eyes. What Lai didn't see, however, was the shadowy figure down the hall. Someone catching just enough of the conversation to know this could be valuable leverage later. Act 2, Grace's Truth Bomb. Across town at Forrester Creations, Grace Buckingham walked into the design office like a woman who had been holding back far too long. She was supposed to be discussing Luna's future with the company, but her thoughts were miles away. Hope Logan was at the drafting table, reviewing sketches when Grace stepped in. "Hope, we need to talk," she said, her voice tight. Hope set her pen down. "This about Luna?" "No," Grace replied, moving to close the door. "This is about the Forresters, and the truth I've been sitting on." The air in the room shifted instantly. Grace's posture was rigid, her eyes darting between Hope and the door as if she expected someone to burst in. "I know what's been going on," Grace said. "And if it comes out the wrong way, people's lives will be destroyed. But keeping it quiet is eating me alive." Hope's brows furrowed. "Grace, you're scaring me." "What is it?" And then Grace said it. A confession that left Hope so stunned she didn't speak for a solid 10 seconds. The kind of truth bomb that isn't just scandalous, but has the power to redraw family lines and shift alliances overnight. The writers were clever. They didn't let us hear the full detail yet. All we saw was Hope's jaw drop, her hand covering her mouth as Grace's voice broke. "You can't tell anyone yet," Grace insisted. "If this leaks, we'll lose more than reputations." It was classic B&B, a secret planted, a reaction given, but the full reveal teased for another day. Act 3, Liam's Gratitude. Meanwhile, over at the Cliff House, Liam Spencer sat on the sofa, nursing a cup of coffee and trying not to look like he'd just run an emotional marathon. The past few weeks had been a whirlwind of danger, misunderstandings, and heartbreak. But today, he was feeling something else entirely: gratitude. Steffi entered from the kitchen, her hair pulled back, an edge of tension still lingering in her voice. "I wasn't sure you'd come by," she said. Liam looked up, a faint smile tugging at his lips. "I had to. There's something I need to say." She crossed her arms, guarded but curious. "I've been angry, confused, blaming everyone, including myself," Liam began. "But what you did, keeping the kids safe, holding the line when things got chaotic, it matters more than I can say." Steffi softened slightly, though she didn't drop her guard completely. "I just did what any mother would do." "No," Liam said gently, "you did more than that. You protected them even when it meant standing against people you care about. I'll never forget that." There was a pause, the kind that can either end in a hug or a new fight. Steffi's gaze flickered, and for a moment, it felt like old wounds might finally start to heal. But before either could say more, Finn's voice echoed from outside. "Steffi, we need to talk." Liam set down his coffee, the moment broken but not erased. He knew whatever came next could change everything, again. Act 4. Threads begin to cross. The episode shifted gears into a montage of overlapping scenes, pulling the day's threads together. Lai, leaving Sheila's room, spotted the same shadowy figure who'd been lurking earlier. Only now they were speaking quietly into a phone. A flicker of suspicion crossed Lai's face. She knew hospital gossip traveled fast, but this felt targeted. Grace, exiting Forrester Creations, ran into Carter Walton. He caught the tension instantly. "You okay?" he asked. Grace hesitated, clearly debating whether to unload or stay silent. In the end, she simply said, "Some truths are dangerous, Carter. Remember that." Liam, driving away from the Cliff House, replayed Steffi's face in his mind. Gratitude was one thing, but was it the start of something more? Or had they crossed too many bridges to ever go back? Act 5. Sheila plays her hand. The last 10 minutes brought us right back to Sheila, because of course they did. In her hospital bed, Sheila's smirk had returned. A nurse entered to check her vitals, but Sheila waved her off. "Tell my visitor to come in." The door opened, and in walked the shadowy figure from earlier. No longer just a shape in the hallway, they stepped fully into the light, revealing themselves as someone both Lai and Finn had trusted in the past. "I heard every word," they said, closing the door behind them. "And I think we can help each other." Sheila's smile widened. "Oh, I do love when opportunity knocks." It was clear now. Lai's risky encounter hadn't just failed to intimidate Sheila, it had set something in motion. Something that would pull multiple characters into a dangerous spiral. Act 6. The Final Beats. The final scene was quiet but heavy with foreshadowing. Lai returned home, dropping her keys on the counter, trying to shake the lingering unease. Her phone buzzed, an unknown number with a single text. "You should be careful who's listening." She froze. Across town, Grace stood alone in her apartment, pouring a glass of wine. She stared out the window, muttering to herself, "It's only a matter of time." And at the Cliff House, Steffi sat with Finn, clearly mid-argument. "You don't understand," Finn said, his voice tense. "If my mother's playing a new game, we're already 3 moves behind." The episode closed on Sheila's face, calm, confident, and terrifying. As she whispered to herself, "Let the games begin." Analysis. Why this episode mattered. Thursday's episode was less about explosive action and more about positioning. A chess match of secrets, confrontations, and emotional shifts. Lee's risky encounter wasn't just about her vendetta against Sheila. It introduced a third-party eavesdropper, someone with the potential to manipulate both sides. Grace's truth bomb gave us a new dangling mystery. We know it shook hope to her core, but the writers deliberately withheld details, guaranteeing speculation until the reveal. Liam's gratitude scene wasn't flashy, but it planted the seeds for possible reconciliation, or at least a thaw in the icy tension between him and Steffi. It was an episode where almost nothing resolved, but everything escalated. Thanks for watching this video, and please subscribe our Bold and BAVTFAVUL UPDAT YouTube channel for more update news.